Have you ever felt this? You pour your heart, your emotions, even change who you are, just to make someone stay. You hope that if you care enough, are kind enough, love enough, they will choose you. But no, they still leave. And you're left wondering, am I still not good enough? From a young age, you were taught that love is the missing half of a puzzle, that you must change yourself to fit with another, that to feel worthy, someone else must love you first. But Carl Jung points out the opposite. If you are not aware of your worth, you will endlessly repeat relationships that make you feel worthless, always begging from others what you have never learned to give yourself. Love. And only when you love yourself enough, not through words, but by setting boundaries, refusing to accept less than you deserve, learning to be alone yet whole, only then will the right person come. Not because you need them, but because you no longer need anyone to fill your emptiness. In today's video, we will explore why, when you love yourself enough, you will attract a completely different kind of love. Stay until the end, because the love you're searching for might not lie in someone's words, but in the awakening waiting within you. Number 1. Love born from need is not love. You think you're seeking love, but most of the time, you're searching for an anesthetic to numb the pain you've never dared to face. You say you want a secure relationship, someone who loves you sincerely, but look closely. How many times have you fallen into relationships that made you feel small, anxious, and entirely dependent on the other person's emotions? How many times have you asked yourself, why do I always meet the same kind of people? Why am I always the one who loves more? And how many times, after each heartbreak, did you swear things would be different, only to fall back into the same cycle? That's not bad luck. That's an unconscious wound repeating itself over and over until you're awake enough to face it head-on. Carl Jung said that you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are, in the depths of your consciousness, where fears, buried traumas, and limiting beliefs you've long hidden still control you like an invisible string. Take a familiar example. A woman who always falls for cold, distant men who never fully open their hearts. Each time a relationship ends, she says, "Next time I'll choose someone kinder." But the next time, she picks someone just the same, only with a different name and face. Why? Because she hasn't spent time with herself, and deep in her unconscious, she carries an unspoken belief. I'm not worthy of being fully loved. I have to try. I have to prove I'm good enough. And so, she is unconsciously drawn to people who trigger that feeling again, where being loved means striving to be chosen. This is the cruel trap of an unawakened mind. You think you're in love, but you're reenacting an old script with new actors, and you call it love. But no, it's emotional dependency in disguise. Love that stems from lack is not love. It's emotional bargaining. You love, but it's to fill a void, to fill the emptiness, to fill the fear of being alone, to fill the feeling that no one needs you. You love not because you're whole, but because you lack love for yourself. And that's why that love cannot last. It cannot be healthy, because it doesn't come from freedom. It comes from need. And everything born from need will always create some form of dependency. Now, be honest with yourself. When you love, do you find yourself becoming a different person? More sensitive, more vulnerable, more panicked when the other person doesn't respond as you expect? That's because you're not truly loving them. You're clinging to the idea that they can heal you. and that's where the suffering begins. If you recognize you've been this way, leave a comment to let me know that what I'm saying has touched you. Jung called this identification with the wound, when you haven't separated your true self from the part of you that's been hurt. Instead of healing it, you seek someone to carry it for you, to love you enough to make you forget your insecurities, but no one can do that. And so, you keep being disappointed, you keep hurting, you keep demanding, and you keep repeating. Love born from need is like building a house on sand. It seems solid at first, but a single wave is enough to make everything collapse, because it's not grounded in an inner foundation. It depends entirely on the other person's presence, words, and actions. And so, you turn your lover into the keeper of your emotional keys. They leave, you crumble. They stay, you breathe a sigh of relief. That's not love. It's a form of emotional addiction. And that kind of love will always be a beautiful but dangerous illusion. Until you're brave enough to look it in the face, you'll keep running in circles, hoping someone will love you the right way, instead of doing that for yourself. Imagine a man who's just gone through a breakup. Instead of pausing to feel the pain within, to understand, to learn from this wound, he rushes into dating apps, talking to anyone who gives him the feeling of being loved, of being chosen. He thinks he's opening up to new love, but in reality, he's running from himself. And all he meets are people who are also running. Relationships born from two people who are lacking, who are in a hurry, who connect through fear rather than peace. And then he's disappointed again, feels abandoned again, believes that love is suffering. But he doesn't see the most important thing. The energy he puts out is shaping the kind of love he receives. And so, if all you have within is anxiety, fear, and a desperate need for validation, you won't attract anything but people who trigger those same feelings. To change the love you attract, you can't start from the outside. You must go within. Recognize the old fear, bring it to light, and instead of finding someone to fill it, start asking, why do I believe I'm not enough? Where did that belief come from? Is it true? No one can love you enough to make you feel enough. That doesn't exist. The only thing that can change everything is when you stop needing love as an emotional crutch and start walking on your own 2 feet. It sounds harsh, but it's a truth few dare to face. True love is not an addiction. People often mistake emotional hunger for love. When you're starving, you'll accept any food. But that doesn't mean the food is delicious or nourishing. Love born from need is how we betray ourselves, how we hand the right to be loved to someone else. And there's something even harder to realize. We don't just love in the wrong way, we also see the wrong people. Because most of what you think is love is merely a reflection of yourself through the shadow of the other. Number 2, the mechanism of projection in relationships. Jung once said, "The best political, social, and spiritual work we can do is to withdraw the projection of our shadow onto others." According to him, love is not merely an emotion. It is a mirror that precisely reflects your inner state and psychological structure. You don't just love someone for who they are, but because they awaken something unacknowledged within you. We often think that the encounters in our lives are coincidental. Meeting someone in class, at work, through a friend, a chance encounter on the street, or a swipe on an app. But no, these encounters that alter the course of events don't follow any tangible logic, aren't planned, and don't depend on algorithms or control. In Carl Jung's world, nothing is random, especially not people. The person you meet is the one your inner world is calling for. Carl Jung asserted that each of us is not only driven by the conscious mind, the part you know and control, but also guided by a deeper layer, the collective unconscious, formed by instincts and archetypes. These manifest as rituals, symbols, and primal images from the earliest times, suppressed by consciousness. Humans cannot consciously perceive these archetypes, but they carry intense feelings about them. In love, the most powerful archetypes are the anima and animus. The anima is the unconscious feminine aspect in a man's psyche, representing tenderness, nurturing, emotion, and intuition. The animus is the unconscious masculine aspect in a woman's psyche, embodying reason, action, strength, and ideals. Every person, regardless of gender, carries within them an idealized image of the other, shaped by these archetypes. When you meet someone who matches this inner archetypal image, you're not just attracted, you feel a sense of destiny, as if the universe sent them to complete you. The difference is, it feels predestined, as if an invisible thread connects two separate life experiences from distinct worlds. Jung said that some connections are formed before life gives them a name. This isn't poetry. It's a theory of the unconscious. Beneath the surface of events, something deeper is at work. Nothing happens by chance. In this context, chance isn't random, it's a language. What you call fate is perhaps just the movement of the unconscious interacting with the external world. They come as mirrors, not to please you, but to reflect you. The key point is, you don't need to know what frequency you're emitting. Your unconscious is doing that for you. The suppressed desires for love, the feelings of inadequacy about yourself, the beliefs you absorbed as a child but never questioned, all of these are broadcasting energy. And because of this, every person who comes to you carries a message, not to pass by, but to reflect the deepest layers within you. Like a door opening amidst everyday life, they step in and activate a part of you that's been asleep. You might meet someone quiet, distant, who hurts you by making you feel ignored or abandoned. But if you look deeply and honestly, you'll see that the feeling isn't caused by them. It's been within you for a long time, the part of you that always craves and needs love to affirm itself. If at this point you see a glimpse of yourself in this, pause for a moment and leave a sign, maybe a symbol, a comment below, so others and you know you're not alone in this journey. That's how the shadow within us finds its way to the light. Not through theories or books, but through real people, real emotions, real pain. And that's why, despite the hurt, these encounters are necessary. The truth is, you don't happen to meet anyone. You meet the right person for the lesson you need. The one who hurts you comes to reflect your pain. The one who makes you tremble comes to reflect your false beliefs. The one who makes you feel like yourself comes to remind you, you deserve to be yourself. And that's the trap, because we don't love them for who they are. We love a projected image from within. We love who we think they are, not the real person. When love stems from projection, it's illusory. And when the fog of illusion clears, we feel disappointed, angry, hurt. But instead of turning inward to reflect, we seek someone new to project onto. And the cycle continues. But projection is only the surface. What keeps us trapped in unhealthy relationships at a deeper level is the unconscious energy we emit, the energy of lack. Number 3, the energy of lack. You may not say it out loud, you may hide your emotions, but energy doesn't lie. Others sense your need for love, sense that you're someone who doesn't know how to love themselves, not through words, but through the way you look at them too long, wait for their response too eagerly, stay silent with too much anxiety, or try too hard just to be acknowledged. Carl Jung once said that you don't control what you're not aware of. It controls you. And it's this energy of lack, this intense but invisible craving, that makes love grow cold, no matter how hard you try. Be honest. How many times have you felt overwhelmed when someone didn't reply to your message for a few hours? How many times have you checked their stories, status updates, or photos just to guess what they're thinking, where they are, who they're with? How many times have you pretended to be fine while inside you're a tidal wave waiting for them to do something to make you feel secure? That's the energy of need, and it's not only exhausting for you, it's what makes others gradually pull away from you. In psychology, this is called attachment anxiety, a form of anxious attachment. But in Jung's language, it's a form of unintegrated shadow. When you need love to feel worthy, you're handing your soul to someone else without realizing it. You're not truly loving, you're begging for validation. People don't pull away because you're not beautiful, not interesting, or not good enough. They pull away because they sense the weight of the expectations you place on them to make you feel secure, whole, and worthy. No one can sustain that role for long, and so they retreat. And you feel abandoned again. You believe I'm not enough again, and the cycle restarts. Jung said that where there is desire, there is bondage. Desire here isn't lust, but the absolute need for someone to fill the void within you. The energy of need is vastly different from the desire to connect. Desire comes from wholeness. I want you in my life, but I'm still me without you. Need comes from lack. If you're not here, I don't know who I am. This is the critical difference between healthy love and obsessive love. The challenge is, you can't easily see this energy in yourself, because it lies deep in the unconscious, like an undercurrent. You believe you're in love, but really, you're afraid. And that fear makes you act in ways that repel others, even unintentionally, asking too many questions, getting irrationally upset, constantly needing reassurance. These are all manifestations of the energy of need, which invisibly pushes love away, even when you want to pull it closer. Carl Jung understood this better than anyone. He described the unconscious as an iceberg. The tip is consciousness, but below lies a vast subconscious, a realm holding past experiences, traumas, insecurities, and most importantly, our projections onto the world. Think about how fear creeps into your life, often unnoticed. It disguises itself as doubt when you question whether you're good enough to love someone else. It hides in procrastination when you delay what you truly desire out of fear of failure. It manifests in relationships, where you give too much just to avoid loneliness or the fear that no one needs you. Look around. People who naturally attract others don't do so because they try hard, but because they don't need to. They are themselves. They are at peace. They don't emit a frequency of anxiety. And that groundedness makes them energetically magnetic. They don't play mind games. They don't strain. They're at ease with their presence. The truth is, Love doesn't fear your imperfections, but it flees when you radiate the energy of begging. And that begging doesn't need to be spoken. It shows in the way you wait too long, forgive too quickly, sacrifice too much, and don't dare ask for anything out of fear they'll leave you. So, if you're in a relationship and feel the other person growing distant, before you blame them, look at the energy you're carrying. Are you loving as a free person or as someone needing salvation? Are you interacting from peace or panic? Are you opening your heart or clinging? The harsh truth is, others sense it all. Not with their minds, but with their instincts. And human instinct avoids invisible pressure. Even if someone loves you, if they feel trapped by your energy, they'll pull back. Because they too need space to be themselves. To keep love, you don't need to try harder. You need less. When you no longer love because you lack, but because you want to connect, you start emitting a different energy. The energy of someone who is themselves, who doesn't need saving, doesn't need validation, and is simply present. But to be fully present like that requires more than changing behavior. It demands a deeper process, the journey back to your true self. This is what Jung called individuation. Number 4, individuation, the key to true love. Carl Jung called individuation, the process of becoming wholly oneself, the most important journey a person can undertake in life. The journey to become your true self, not a copy of someone else, no longer manipulated by expectations, wounds, or idealized images from others. And it is this journey, not anything external, that is the key to attracting true love, a love that no longer stems from lack, but from freedom. Have you ever wondered, why do I keep choosing people who can't love me the way I deserve, then try to change them to fill a deep void? Jung explained this not through ordinary reasoning, but through the language of a divided soul. When you haven't individuated, when you still haven't loved yourself and are disconnected from the authentic parts of yourself, you will always seek in others what you haven't dared to face within. Individuation is not about becoming independent in the stereotyped modern sense of the word. It doesn't mean you must live alone, do everything alone, or need no one. Individuation is about starting to see who you are, what you're carrying, which wounds are silently controlling you, and accepting and integrating all those parts to become a unified, conscious, and free entity capable of making choices. Imagine a woman who always carries a fear of abandonment. As a child, she was emotionally neglected by her parents, not through violence, but through their emotional absence. She never learned to love herself because she never received that love from her parents. So instead of nurturing self-love, she always felt inadequate, believing that to be loved, she had to be agreeable, not bother anyone. As an adult, in relationships, she repeats this pattern, always being the one who gives more, sacrifices, compromises, stays silent, and swallows her emotions. She believes that if she's good enough, people won't leave her. But they all leave her. Not because she's unlovable, but because everything she expresses is cloaked in the energy of someone who has never loved themselves. She loves out of fear, not freedom. She loves from a distorted self-image shaped to fit, not from her full and authentic essence. She's living through a temporary ego created to survive in an emotionally impoverished environment. And that ego, when it loves, can only create a counterfeit love, a transaction of dependency, not a deep connection. Jung once said that no one can see outward, if they haven't looked inward. This means you cannot truly see or love another person if you don't know who you are, don't understand what you need, and haven't confronted the parts of yourself you've rejected. Individuation is the journey of accepting your entire being, both light and shadow, both weakness and strength, both wounds and potential. And when you do this, you begin to love not because you need someone to make you feel enough, but because you are enough and want to connect from that fullness. The irony is, many people think they've grown up, that they're free, but they're still living as children inside adult bodies. They enter love with the naive expectation that someone will fully understand them, love them unconditionally, and heal all their unspoken wounds, without realizing that every time they love out of lack, they're dragging old wounds along and placing them on the other person. And sooner or later, that person cannot bear the weight. Individuation is a painful process because it requires you to face the parts you've always wanted to avoid, the emptiness, the loneliness, the fear. You can no longer blame others for causing your pain. You can no longer hide in the role of love's victim. You must take responsibility for what you choose. You must have the courage to peel away every layer of disguise, every defense mechanism, every story you've told yourself, to return to the real, unadorned, unconditional you. Once you've made peace with yourself and learned to love your imperfections, you'll realize true love is not about merging or finding the other half. True love happens when two individuated people, two souls at peace with themselves, choose to walk together, not to fill a void, but to amplify each other's light. And when love comes from that place, it's no longer insecure. You no longer cling to the other person to hold on to a sense of worth. You don't control, don't demand, don't require them to prove their love every day to make you feel safe. Because the safety you need, you've already created within yourself. If you resonate with what I've shared, leave a comment, a symbol, or simply write, "I'm on this journey too," below. Your words might touch someone else quietly navigating their darkness. And who knows, you might not be alone. In a world where most people love from fear, from wounds, from unrealistic romantic expectations, individuation is a revolutionary act. It doesn't just change how you love, it changes the entire energy you emit. And that energy, not your appearance, words, or actions, will determine the kind of people you attract and the kind of love you can sustain. Individuation has no finish line. It's a lifelong process, a long series of encounters with yourself in silence, in solitude, in turmoil. With every step you take deeper into yourself, you step away from half-hearted relationships, connections steeped in emotional addiction, and the cycles of dependent love. The love you attract will bring you closer to yourself, to its true essence, a freedom, a prioritization of self, a relationship that doesn't consume you but helps you grow. Number 5. The journey of transformation, from chaser to attractor. No one can love you but you. No one can make you feel whole if you don't believe you're worthy. No relationship, no matter how beautiful, can fill a void you've never dared to face. And that's why this journey of transformation doesn't begin with others. It begins within you. Carl Jung didn't offer sweet consolations. He didn't paint psychology as a rosy therapy. Jung was the one who pulled you back to the center of your pain and demanded you stay there, face the darkness head-on, and from it, find true light. In the journey to heal from the energy of dependency, you'll have to do what few dare. Stay alone, awake, without escaping, and learn to return to yourself step by step. Below is a simple yet powerful psychological exercise to help you nurture self-love. If you're brave enough to try it, comment below, "I'm ready to change," so we can embark on this journey together. The first exercise begins with reflecting on your current or past relationships. Ask yourself, what is my current relationship reflecting? Am I in a relationship where I'm always the one texting first? Always the one making peace after every fight? Always the one sacrificing comfort to keep the peace? Dig deeper. Where in this relationship am I being neglected? Perhaps you hesitate to set boundaries out of fear they'll leave. Perhaps you feel lonely even in a relationship because you stopped sharing your true feelings long ago. These are signs that you're abandoning yourself in this love. And starting today, I want you to commit to yourself to pause all behaviors driven by the need to be loved or reassured. This means don't text to check in, even if you miss them, even if you worry they're upset, even if you want to confirm they still care. You don't need to check. You need to trust that if someone truly connects with you, they'll show up out of their desire, without prompting or reminders. You don't need a reply to know your worth. You don't need your name lighting up a screen to know you deserve love. Your value doesn't lie in someone else's response. It lies in the commitment you make to yourself. The second exercise, practice intentional solitude. Being alone isn't passive loneliness, where you curl up with your phone, waiting for someone to ease your emptiness. This is purposeful stillness, choosing to silence external noise to hear your inner voice more clearly. Try these steps. Journal your emotions daily. Every morning or before bed, write down everything you feel: confusion, pain, anger, excitement. It doesn't need to be eloquent or polished, just honest. Writing untangles the unconscious, bringing the light of awareness to where emotional darkness reigns. Next, face loneliness without avoidance. Instead of filling the void with movies, social media, food, or random texts, sit still. Truly sit. Feel the emptiness spread from your chest, your stomach, the invisible space around you. Don't rush to fill it. Ask it, where did you come from? What do you want? In that silence, you'll start hearing sounds you've always tried to drown out: your heart's voice, old memories, outdated beliefs, unhealed wounds. These aren't enemies. They're the map, guiding you back to yourself. The third exercise, focus on nurturing your inner world. Ask yourself how much time you've spent trying to be loved by others. How much energy did you pour into becoming someone's ideal? It's time to reclaim that energy and give it to yourself, not through superficial self-indulgence, but by truly building an inner foundation. Care for your body, recognizing it as your most sacred temple, the vessel holding every emotional wound. A balanced diet, enough sleep, and daily movement don't just make you healthier. They reduce the unconscious stress that makes you prone to dependency. When you feel clearer in your body, you make clearer emotional decisions. Embrace creativity. Write, draw, play music, design, cook. Anything that makes you feel you're creating, living, and connecting with the world through your abilities. Creative acts are among the most powerful ways to heal a fractured self, as they awaken an intrinsic value only you can bring forth. And something crucial I must emphasize: Reconnect with yourself. Schedule time each day for things that make you feel truly alive. A walk in the evening sun, a chapter of a book that helps you understand yourself better, or brewing a cup of tea and sipping it slowly. These aren't trivial, they're the strongest affirmation. I choose to stay with myself. I no longer need to escape. When you do these things, you're not just withdrawing energy from others. You're transforming yourself from within. You're telling your subconscious, I'm ready to stop loving out of need. I'm ready to love from fullness. And from that place, where you don't need anyone to make you feel enough, where you don't seek love to be saved, a new energy begins to radiate from you. Groundedness, calm, an allure not rooted in appearance, but in your true essence. Number 6, the kind of love that comes when you love yourself. When you no longer live in a state of lack, you emit a different frequency. A kind of energy that doesn't beg but invites, doesn't cling but attracts, doesn't crave but rests in ease. This energy, as Jung described, is the hallmark of a soul that has moved beyond projection and begun to converge into its authentic self. You no longer need to find someone to fill a void, because within you, you've built a life worth living. And from that place, you start drawing in what you once chased after in your lack, always striving but never reaching. When you need too much, you make everything naturally retreat. But when you no longer need, you become a magnetic force for what is good. Carl Jung said, "Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. Wholeness comes when you begin to attract healthy relationships. People come, stay, and strive to truly connect with you, because they see your fullness. They sense that being near you doesn't mean carrying your emotions. They don't have to prove anything. They can be themselves, and so can you. You start attracting opportunities that align with your true nature, because you're no longer acting just to be validated. You move from clarity, no longer pulled by the fear of being left behind. And that makes you more decisive, deeper, and more creative. You attract genuine, unconditional, non-exploitative affection. You draw in people who are straightforward, stable, and honest, because you've stopped pretending to be liked. You attract those who love, not because they can make you happy, but because they're already happy and want to share that with you. This is the love of two free individuals, not two people trying to patch their wounds with each other, but two who have stepped out of emotional addiction, who have learned to live authentically, fully, slowly, and deeply. And so they choose each other, not out of need, but out of want. Not to fill a void, but because both have loved themselves wholly. Love, then, is no longer a reward for being good enough. It's the natural response of two souls resonating on the same frequency. They don't try to cling to each other. They don't try to control each other. They don't stay together out of fear of loss. They choose to stay every day because among countless options, they still choose each other. It's no longer necessary. It's conscious companionship. And the wonderful thing is, when you're in this state, even if someone walks out of your life, you no longer collapse. Because you know, love doesn't define your worth. It only reflects what you already carry within. You'll still hurt, but you won't lose yourself. And then, other worthy things will come. Not on schedule, not according to script, but at the moment, you stop craving and start loving yourself. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Ultimately, the answer to the relationship you long for doesn't lie in the other person. It lies in the essence of the energy you emit every day. And the miracle is, you can change that whenever you choose to pause, turn inward, and start putting yourself first, just as Jung told us. But if you have nothing at all to create, then perhaps you create yourself. True love doesn't come from straining to be loved. It comes when you stop trying to be someone else and start living as yourself. No controlling, no clinging, no begging. Just a powerful, grounded presence. No one falls in love. They fall into themselves, into the part they've never dared to see. And true love, if it exists, is the natural response of a soul that has returned to its essence. If what I've shared resonates with you and urges you to change for the better, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications today. Who knows, the upcoming videos might arrive just when you need them most.